What's going on, Virgo? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist 8. Justin here, and I hope you're having a phenomenal month so far. Can you tell I'm excited? For those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Virgo. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. You want to know why, Virgo? Because it is Celestial News Monthly! Sidebar. I know they're getting earlier, right? When I first started this channel, I had this segment on there that was Celestial News Weekly, and it was doing a lot, so I had to cut it. But now that these planetary spreads, I've been liking the groove of them, so I'm like, oh my goodness, I could just change them to go from weekly to monthly, and it just raised my vibration to the roof. So that's why I'm excited for this spread, Virgo. But with this monthly spread, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, we're just going to talk about where the planets are and how we can work with the energies. And then just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Virgo. So Virgo, I have some oracle cards here with the zodiac signs that each of the luminaries and planets are in. We're going to pull you're going to chill. I'm going to pull a oracle card for each of them, and then we'll get some tarot to get some details on the mix. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then in case you all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, which I need to update, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested there, Virgo. But before we get into your energy for the Gemini energy, let's talk about Gemini, because Gemini's throwing a very intimate party. You know, Aries and Taurus were throwing these big old birthday bashes, and like Gemini's like, no, this is like VIPs only. But they have the sun, and then your ruler, you and Gemini share a ruler. So you have the sun, and then Mercury is going to be in Gemini a little bit late, towards like the beginning of June. But the sun enters Gemini on the 21st of May and will be there through the 21st of June. And with the sun entering Gemini there for you, Virgo, this is going to be, I feel like, a great energy for you as well, just because, especially with Mercury being in being at home in one of his signs. But the sun in Gemini inspires our curiosity and really opens our minds up to new perspectives. So this is a great time for you, Virgo, to really kind of, if you've been wanting to expand on any sort of skills or really kind of refine some stuff, really learn some things, really tap into that curiosity. Gemini is very witty, very inventive, very clever. And this is also a great time too, Virgo. If you've been really kind of stressed with some things, find some time to do some kind of lighthearted and fun things, because Gemini is very kind of youthful energy and is great for that. And you know how they can be a very funny sign. So really, find, and Virgo, being that you two share a ruler, you're witty too, Virgo. I know Virgo, sun, moon, rising, Mercury's out, like wherever the Virgo placement is, you usually are on point, Virgo. So really make sure that you're having fun. And then also, with your ruler entering Gemini, Mercury's going to enter Gemini on the 11th of June, and then will be there through the 26th of June. And with this, you may be feeling more clear-headed, more objective, and more mentally flexible. And so this is great too, Virgo. You're already a mutable sign, so that your mind's already adaptable. But it really, if you have any sort of big challenges that you've been needing to get taken care of, or any kind of let's say if we're doing any sort of studying, if we're in any kind of school or doing any sort of courses or anything, this is a great, this month here, I feel like is going to be really great for, really flexing that brain power. But because the energy is so active, Mercury energy be on top of being in Gemini energy. I have a Gemini moon, and let me tell you, it's, and I mean, Virgo, how Mercury is. It's, with Mercury being active and being at home, you might feel a little all over the place. So we want to be mindful of, watch for any kind of anxiety, and for overworking ourselves as well, and really kind of straining the mind. Make sure we're taking brain breaks. And you might feel a little distracted, Virgo. So what I've been telling people, especially if you have like a lot of ideas that you've been noticing that's been cooking up as of late, keep a notebook by you. And just, I always talk about really specifically, I feel like all signs would benefit from this, but I feel like you and Gemini in particular, you know, benefiting from keeping like a notebook by you just for this energy, but also just in general, because Mercury can be so active, dealing with that stuff, it can make it feel like you're, you know, like there's just a lot going on in your brain. And I find that journaling, it allows you to just kind of dump all those thoughts out and just kind of open some space up for some new stimuli to come in, as opposed to, because it takes a lot for the brain to process some of these things. And it's nice to see too, what are maybe some recurring things, you know, while we're doing this journaling that's coming up that's like your higher self is trying to get your attention of, and just, you know, just some things to think about, Virgo. But let's see what your card is for the, all right. And you know what? That's great. We got all this mental energy for it. You can handle it. You stay calm, Virgo, because you got the 5th card of Taurus is here, which is the broken vase card. And with this card, this is a card of hardship, misfortune, trial, overcome, crisis, 2 steps back, change of state, grief, fix it, opportunity, pressure, burden, destroy, adversity, accident, disappointments, and setbacks. And here's the thing, Virgo. It's a interesting energy right now when we're getting in Gemini season, because when we're getting out of Taurus season, you know, Taurus is a much slower pace, and then you switch from active Gemini energy. It's like we can get in this place of feeling like that things are, you know, can feel like there's a lot of pressure, or that, how do I want to put this, Virgo? We're in a time right now where we don't want to panic when there are broken vase situations. We want to take adversities and turn them into our advantage. And really, with this, where this energy is at, this is a very adaptable energy, and we can really if we can find the opportunities in these messes and see, because this is almost like when this broken vase comes out, this is, to me, is like a little mini tower moment. So, and you know, all tower moments are clearing space for new things, for you to grow new things, Virgo. Because I tell you all the time, when Virgo, because you're represented by the King of Pentacles, and when the King of Pentacles gets to work, man, there's abundance. You can take this broken vase and turn it into a sculpture. You know, it's just, what makes sense with where the energies are at right now, you know, with what resources that you have. And know that when these situations come, you will overcome them. It's usually these broken vases, it's like the same, it's the same stuff, just taking on a different vibration, because you've grown from this. Like, the universe can't keep throwing at you, like, you know, 5-year-old you problems, because you're at, let's say, 30 now. You know, we got to have 30-year-old problems. You know, we got to keep this energy growing here. You know, the next, you know, and as etc. You know, as the journey goes along. So, and listen, we might feel during this energy, you know, like if we, with just like kind of how chaotic things may feel, you know, with like the banks collapsing, with all this change that's going on, Pluto in Aquarius, getting introspective, you know, because I'll tell you what, I was just talking with someone, and we're still kind of in the shadow period of the retrograde of Mercury, depending on when you're watching this. And this Mercury retrograde has, like, the tail end of it has been some weirdness. So this is, with everything that's going on, we really want to not, like, be mindful of our where our thoughts are at as well, Virgo. And we don't want to create this, like, this echo chamber of doom. You know, we want to say, like, okay, yes, we acknowledge the problem, absolutely. This vase there's glass all over the place. What action are we going to take? And I mean, Virgo, that's your bread and butter right there. You know, getting to work, but. Let's see, let's get some details on this. Okay, so we got the Page of Cups in reverse here. Okay, then we got the Eight of Cups upright, and then we have the Nine of Swords in reverse here. And that's, you know, I like this, that the Nine of Swords popped up like this, because this is seeing a situation, I feel like, for what it is. You know, Nine of Swords can normally be like a nightmare where we get in this place of panic, where we can exacerbate a problem, you know, whenever, you know, because listen, tower moments can suck sometimes, but it's just like, what can we create out of this? But if we, and listen, if you get to a place where it's like you don't see something that you, if there's like, if you feel like you're lacking resources or anything, then here's another resource for you. Reach out to others. There's usually someone, like maybe they can maybe get you out, kind of help you along, something along those lines. But I feel like, you know, if you ever get in a weird place, Virgo, ask for help, because you never know. You help someone when they're in a broken vase situation. It really does. The universe pays that back in kind. So that's just something to think about. And that's how the King of Pentacles operates. He's doing stuff like, he's helping you build your abundance, because he knows that is like where I'm building a soul tribe. You know, we're building rapport here, you know, making connections. And I also feel like, you know, with the Eight of Cups popping up here, it's letting go of, you know, when we get in these broken vases, it's letting go of that idea of that, like, that life is against us, or that is trying to keep us down, or, you know, keep us trapped in like a nightmare. We want to move. Because like I was telling you, you know, thoughts become things. This card here, this is Mars in Gemini. And so if you find yourself, when we get in, you know, maybe when we have a setback and we find ourselves, you know, disappointment, maybe beating ourselves up, because it's Virgo, you know, that's one of the traits of your signs, is being overly critical. And listen, I don't feel like you do this on purpose. It's just like, you know, sometimes you expect greatness for yourself, and that's dope. But we also want to be kind with ourselves, forgive ourselves when things don't quite go our way. And it's just like, okay, this I learned. What did I learn from this, and how can I pivot? Because it doesn't change the end game. You're still trying to become the highest version of yourself. You know, your highest vibration. It's just, okay, this direction has okay. There's a disaster over here. Let's see what I can do with this mess and build to go here. You know, how can we move on from this journey? You know, it's like, what can we, you know what I mean, Virgo? So let's see what else we got here. All right, you see that, Virgo? Here's the sun. Look at that. We changed perspectives. We got the sun. And then look at that. We got, look, lovely, Virgo. Because you got the Five of Pentacles here, one of Taurus's card. And that's kind of something. And then, yeah, you got the sun here. And the Five of Pentacles. This is a sign of really working towards the sun. You know, when we see that this stuff here, that these situations that happen, they're not meant for us to keep us down. And here's the thing, Virgo, if you do find where your back is against the wall and things seem kind of bleak, go inside. You know, this building here it's not looking like this to keep you out. It's asking like, hey, if you need some help, if you need some sunshine, come in here and warm up. You know, hit up your Gemini energy. They're the communicators of the zodiac. If we're you know, Mercury being a sign of communication, Virgo, come on, or being a planet of communication. So be thinking about that. Just if you ever find yourself in a jam, however that looks, you know, Virgo, little sidebar, I just got in a little broken base situation not too long ago, and just kind of had to pivot, you know, and I had to ask for a little assistance. And I'll tell you what, it felt great, because it shows you too what people will do for you, you know, what kind of how they'll have your back in a way. And I'll tell you what, and it really does. It raises your vibration through the roof, and it helps you see, you know, the ones who got your back, you know. And even if people can't, you know, it's like, you know what I mean, Virgo. It's dope. So alrighty. And you know what? While we're talking about building all the security here, let's talk about Venus in Cancer. because Venus entered Cancer on the 7th of May and will be there through the 5th of June. And with Venus and Cancer, Venus and Cancer have a very special connection. You know, the Cancer is ruled by the Moon. The Moon and Venus are feminine energies. It's just their besties. But this motivates us to find more security in relationships, whether that be with our jobs, with finances, with our health, with our spirituality, with our friends, with whatever. You know, it's finding that security and then seeing what motivates us, you know, in this drive. You know, it's Cancerian energy. We're very, you know, they're very, my sun signs in Cancer. But Cancer is very much, you know, they live in the 4th house, and that's very much about the home, you know, roots and ancestries and things. So it's really, you know, this is a great time. I'll tell you what, it was, the Venus in Cancer has been hard at work in a number of ways, but this really is a great time for solidifying bonds, you know, for expressing gratitude in everything that we have, because, you know, Venus can deal with our finances, and even too, like when you think about 5 of coins, you know, that can feel like being in a state of poverty, feel like you don't have the things that you need. But instead, when you get to operating in a place of lack, then that's what we keep attracting, you know, we got to be careful with that. But also with this energy, because how I was mentioning, you know, Cancer deals with the 4th house. This can be, if some of you are involved in real estate, you know, I'm not a real estate expert, so definitely check that out. But it could be a great time for real estate as well, maybe checking out some things, you know, but definitely hit up an expert. But even on a smaller note, if, like, you know, if you've been wanting to maybe paint a room in your house, or maybe you've been wanting to do some straightening up in your apartment, maybe add some flowers, or it's a great energy for doing some home decor, because Venus is, you know, she's about not just being beautiful herself, but just spreading the beauty around in her environment, you know, really applying a place of comfort and of you know, building that home space. And, you know, especially now being in Cancer, she wants her environment to be just zen. So really be thinking about that there, Virgo. But a lovely thing with Venus being in Cancer as well, this is going to form Virgo, and I forgot, Virgo, we're going to backtrack a little bit. Gemini energy. That's interesting that this broken vase kind of popped up here, because when depending on where your Virgo placements are, the Sun and Mercury will be forming a square with your sign, and that's when the sign forms like a 90-degree angle to the natal planets in your aspect. And I have some apps in the description box that have that I like, that you can look up those details. And to find those details, all you need is your date of birth, your time of birth, and your place of birth. And if you don't have your time, that's fine. Like, I've noticed that's like a trend, but I would be mindful with how you can take in your moon and your rising placements. But the rest of the chart is going to be generally locked in. I'd be weary if it's on like a 0 degree or a 29th degree, but otherwise it could be really locked in. But squares are going to happen for your sign, Virgo, when planets are in Gemini or when they're in Sagittarius, you know, because they're the other mutable signs. And squares can produce like internal conflicts, restrictions, challenges, delayed achievements. You know, it's very tricky situation. It's like for example, it's like when your car breaks down, and then you have to figure out, like, oh crap, do I take Lyft to work for this time? Do I take public transportation? What does that look like? You have, oh crap, now I got to think about getting up earlier. It's one of those like external influences that are like, well, okay, I see life is trying to take me in a different direction, so let's just kind of ride this wave and see what the energies are trying to do. And when you do that, Virgo, work with those energies, that's how we get to that victory. That's how we get that sunlight. So yeah, sorry, forgot to mention that. But also, this energy here with Venus is going to kind of lighten that up here for you, Virgo, because Venus is going to be forming a sextile with your natal planets, and sextiles are formed at 60 degrees. And after a trine, they're one of the more fortunate aspects. You know, there's very easy flowing energy, but the thing is, it's not very dynamic, or it's kind of passive energy. It's one of those that you have to put in a little bit of work to get that fortune going. Another example, I had someone, Virgo oddly enough, presented me an opportunity, and at first I just kind of dismissed it, but then I thought about it some more, and I was like, wait a minute, that's going to solve this problem, that problem, that problem. I was like, hey, wait a minute, you know, luckily I know the person, but that's how a sextile may present itself. So pay attention to opportunities like that, Virgo. That can definitely help ease maybe this broken, when one vase breaks, another one is presented to you, Virgo. So, you know, pay attention to these opportunities here. But let's get an oracle on this. Nice. I like it, Virgo, because look at how you rose above from this. You got the sixth card of Aries, sixth card of Aries here, which is the flag card. And this is a card of achievement, recognition, overthrow, success, victory, winner, conquest, mastery, bragging rights, carry the day, plans are coming to fruition, and King of the Mountain. Look at that, you went from King of Pentacles to King of Mountain. Look at you, you're leveling up before my eyes here, Virgo, and I am with it. And that's exactly what broken bases and squares, you know, to your aspects are trying to level you up to a boss, level you up to someone who can just manifest sunshine, who's just bright just cuz, you know, because they know how to bring it, because they've learned from their experiences. They, you know, we faced stuff head on, because you got quite a bit of Mars energy here. This is the Eight of Cups is Mars and oh, excuse me. No, this is Saturn in Pisces. I'm thinking of Ten of Cups, but that's what we're working towards, Virgo. Some Ten of Cups here. So look at that. We're manifesting your happiness early, but that's exactly, Virgo. Remember that when you're going through these hardships, remember that when you get on the other side of this, how good that feels, and really revel in that moment. That's how you Nine of Cups, remembering that victory, like, man, that was tough, but gosh, I really pulled it together and got that stuff done. And I'll tell you what, when you start making more moments for those little victories, you do start feeling as bright as the sun. And then that's contagious, Virgo. Spreading that sunshine around, people are gonna they're gonna come to you. Because I mean, how could they not? People gravitate towards the sun. I mean, it's the bringer of life. So absolutely, let's get some tarot on this. Oh, look at you. Balanced, blessed. You got the Temperance card here. And with the Temperance card, this is Sagittarius energy. And Sagittarius, if they're a number of things, but one of the big things is they're abundant, they're lucky, they're achievers, because they see, you know, broken vases are, they're opportunities for them. They're ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter, when you put in that work, especially with Jupiter being in Taurus right now, you invest in yourself, Virgo. Learn how we can not just overcome broken bases, but set up yourself for some security in the future, so that even when things go down, we're a little more, it doesn't hit us as hard. We can still stay a little more balanced in this situation. You're going to be, that's how we temperance, and, you know, and keep it going. But also with the Temperance, you know, one thing I like to say, because this is, the Temperance is the pit stop right before the devil energy. And sometimes I feel that with broken vases, they can get to a place where, you know, it can potentially affect our balance, you know, where it can get to where because, you know, Temperance can also be about moderation. And if the scales are tipped and we find ourselves overindulging, then we, you know, that's how we end up in a devil moment, and then lead to another Tower moment. So we just want to be mindful of that as well. When you find yourself, you know, possibly getting in like a spiral, maybe getting in your head, remember your achievements. Remember how far you've come. And, you know, with time, that you make that more of a habit, then it just helps you catch these situations quicker. And then you just make a Zen space for yourself, Virgo. You know, just anytime, you know, you find yourself stressed or anything, like, it really will help you in the long run. Alrighty, Virgo, let's see what else we have here. I like it. You got the Four of Coins here, and then you got the Knight of Cups. And you know what? I feel like a great way to get Four of Coins, to get your security, to feel stable, to feel like that life isn't constricting you, or that you're at the mercy of the energies, are just doing things that you love, doing things that raise your vibration. Because when you start doing that stuff, Virgo, and I just don't mean like starting like a, maybe changing your career. No, if you love your career, I mean more so about working in some more things that you love, keeping yourself in a state of abundance. Venus and Cancer, nurturing, Venus and Cancer is almost, well, Venus and Cancer is the Two of Cups, but it almost kind of gives me kind of like Nine of Cups energy, where it's like you're attracting that energy of love that you do, and that's just going to keep the achievements coming. That's going to keep you feeling stable, and it's going to feel that even when, life kind of throws you curveballs, it's just like it's different, it's just like you're able to intuitively just navigate through this stuff here. Because I mean, look, you went from the Page of Cups, and now I told you, you're leveling up before my eyes here. Now you're a Knight of Cups. Look at you, so intuitive. And tell you, just like how I just did that, really make that a routine, Virgo. And I really feel that there's going to be success coming from you here. And I will say, with the Four of Coins as well, if there is something that you feel that is restricting you, that if you, that's keeping you in a place of pressure, or, that's just like it's preventing this, for your leveling up. The Four of Coins can also be, something that's got us held back. You see how crazy this vulture is looking at this girl right now. She's just trying to get out of here. Let's get a game plan, Virgo. Don't feel like that any situation is too big for you, especially if it's low, if it's got you in a down place. You can get out of this and rise above and be successful, because you've done it once. It just looked a little different, but now you're in a stronger place. You got a stronger problem, but man, you're going to be, again, Page of Cups to Knight of Cups. So, all right. I love it. Oh, all right, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about, since Sagittarius comes up, we'll talk about Taurus energy. Because you got two contenders there. We got Jupiter that just entered Taurus on the 16th of, yesterday when this came out. Came out on the 16th of May, and will be there through the 25th of May next year, 2024. And then Uranus has been in Taurus since about 2018. It will be there till the beginning of July 2025. And you know what? With these broken vases, that's definitely Uranus territory. Because Uranus is the planet of revolutions. Uranus brings change. They're the modern ruler of Aquarius, along with Saturn. And Uranus is very much about future, about innovation, about change. And if there's, when the outer planets are making a shift, Uranus, I feel like really kind of helps set the tone, really kind of like, yo, we got to start thinking from, we're getting into this, we're entering the age of Aquarius right now with Pluto moving around and getting ready to move into Aquarius, like settle in next year. We got a lot of things that are getting ready to evolve. You think there's been some changes now, where 2025, I feel like, really is going to be a really kind of cooking year, Virgo. So this is a great time for you to really be finding yourself, finding your temperance, finding things to balance you out, doing things that bring you happiness, and finding a way to even find some security, whether it, find some security, whether that be financial, whether that be material, health, spiritual, whatever it is, that abundance that you're looking for, security that you're looking for this journey, This is what Uranus and Taurus want you to set, that long-term foundation, and just be flexible with these times, and realize that Uranus is not just throwing bases at you just cause. It wants you to, it's trying to get your game right, get you strong for what's to come here. And then with Jupiter in Taurus is about really thinking about those long-term investments as well, because Jupiter is a planet of expansion, of higher learning, of joviality, of luck, abundance, optimism. And the tricky thing with Jupiter, though, is that he's a double-edged sword, because where, yes, he's very abundant, we need to be mindful. You know how we're talking about this Nine of Swords, Eight of Cups? We want to be mindful of what vibration that we're staying in, because if we're staying in stuff that is keeping us held down in things, then that's the abundance that we're going to get. And I know that may sound kind of crappy, but Jupiter doesn't discriminate. You know, so we just want to be mindful of what abundance that we're attracting ourselves, what mindset we're in, keeping the positive energy going through, practicing maybe some affirmations, you know, doing some meditation, some yoga, whatever that is, you know, however you just get blissed out there, Virgo. And then, you know, really invest in yourself in areas that you want to strengthen for the long term here. And it's not to say that there's not going to be some quick stuff along the way, but it is just going to be, it's going to be a slow and steady, definitely is going to win the race. You know, just getting a few long-term seeds invested, Virgo. But another nice little thing, you know, depending on where your Virgo placements are. Taurus or Jupiter's, Uranus is going to be, we're definitely going to need to look into our chart and have like the date, place, and time of birth, because Uranus is kind of further along into the, I think he's at about the 18th or 19th degree or so, last I checked. But with Jupiter being so freshly in your sign, Jupiter's going to be forming, well, both of them, you know, depending, will be forming a trine with your sign. And we were talking about that. The trines are the most fortunate aspects. You know, it's very harmonious, very lucky. You know, opportunities are flowing. You know, the energies are flowing. Comfort zones. You know, it's a great time. Pay attention to any kind of opportunities. I'm not saying just jump at anything. You know, definitely do your research, do some evaluation, see if this is something that resonates with you. But if something comes up, Virgo, you see opportunities for growth and things, absolutely. You know, this Jupiter is trying to set you up. This whole planetary energy right now is really trying to set us up for success here. So, and again, even when you think about the Gemini energy, if we're thinking about how can we set up the security, we're not sure, let's do some research, Virgo. Again, you're intelligent. You got this. But let's get an oracle card on this. Interesting. Okay, so you got the fourth card of Scorpios here, which is the Cat card. And this is a card of apathetic, disinterested, aloof, my way or the highway, bored, unflappable, cool cat, unaffected, not my problem, what I want, when I want it, cool and calm and disengaged. And I will say for all of us, definitely when we think about this Cat card, the first thing is about that being cool and calm, you know, keep staying zen, you know, realizing that it's not just, the world is not just on fire. No, that's where yes, some things are collapsing, but there are equally just some good things that are happening at the same time. It's just they're not being emphasized. And you know what? This card definitely gives me kind of Four of Cups vibes. And when we get into like that sense of apathy and disinterested, like, you know, oh, everything sucks, and, you know, just like there's all this doom and gloom and things and whatnot. And, you know, Virgo, if that's something that you've been thinking, then I challenge you. I forgot who I challenged. I think I challenged Aries, actually, who said something. They got something similar. And I was like, well, then let's create some joy. Let's create some happiness. Let's see, Virgo, what you have to create, because yours is a creative sign. You got an inventive mind. Let's see what beauty you can bring to the world here. You know, let's make this a little more interesting. You know, let's like, that's what we all want, Virgo. We want to feel inspired, you know, to feel. And wouldn't that be brilliant? You know, look at you in inspiring young pages, because that's, you know, the energy may feel like that right now. It's like, how do we manifest in this? You know, what is this? What is, you know, what does sunlight in this modern age look like? And, you know, Virgo, you can set a trend. You know, you could be a trailblazer. So don't just stay, you know, if that's something that's resonating with you, try not to stay in that place of, you know, if we get into like apathy or just like things just sort of feel kind of meh or anything along those lines. If you find yourself bored, then let's bring some incitement, because there's too much to be going down, or that's going down in this world for us to really be bored, Virgo. But let's get some tarot on this. All right, Virgo, so we got the Five of Cups. Oh, that's it. It looked like there was more. You have the Five of Cups here, Virgo. And with the Five of Cups, same kind of thing here. This is a card of like disappointment. If life has not been feeling that, oh, mind the lag there, Virgo. We're in retrograde shadow. But if life has been feeling disappointed or disappointing, if we've been just like caught up in setbacks, or if we just feel like, just like things haven't been going our way, then it's time to pause and figure out what change can we bring. Is there a common theme? This is another thing why I was saying, why journaling would be a just one tool that you might want to consider at your disposal. Just so maybe if we can just see like a common denominator, even if it's not like a regular thing, just if you find yourself in like a place of like, what's happening, write it out so you can see it, so that it's not just floating in the ether in your head and things. But yeah, we just want to be mindful of staying in that energy too long, Virgo, and staying in a place of disappointment. And you know what? If this is something, let's switch gears, because if this is something where if a situation happened and maybe we didn't feel like we brought it like we could, maybe we might be beating ourselves up, Virgo. Be kind to yourself, because you're learning. Like there are going to be sometimes life is going to throw you, Virgo, believe me, life is going to throw you some curveballs sometimes, and believe me, it'll be at a point where you're feeling at the top of your game. You talk about sunshine, you just going around like whoop whoop whoop, and then boom, and yeah, it's weird like that sometimes, Virgo. But man, when you're able to once you're able to kind of get your bearings there, kind of pause, reflect, like what was that? It reminds yourself like, right, I got out of this before. You pick yourself up, and then we go back to working towards that castle here, because there's more opportunities on the horizon. Oh, okay. I'm with it, Virgo. Let's get some tea, and then let's talk about Leo. Because Mars is going to be entering Leo actually a day before the Sun, on the 20th of May, and will be there through the 10th of June. And with Mars being in Leo, this is going to be a very fun cycle here, Virgo. My Mars is in Leo. And this energy encourages us to recognize, all the positive moments and make more moments for sunshine, for happiness, for excitement, for play. Really, Leo is very childlike energy. You couple that with Gemini as well, both very youthful. This is a great time, great cycle for us, Virgo. If you want to do, just tap into that inner child. Allow yourself to play, do some things that you haven't done in a while. Maybe go to the park, maybe jump on a swing. I don't know, Virgo. But just doing things that can just really just raise your vibration through the roof, because that's what Mars and Leo is all about, is an opportunity to really, Knight of Cups, follow your heart, do any kind of hobbies, do stuff with friends. It can be, Leo's very romantic energy as well, because when you think about how they're a sign of creativity, children are creation. So if that's something we're thinking about, you're thinking about, little Page of Cups there, Virgo, could be a great energy for it. But if we're not, let's be mindful. Venus is in Cancer. So, but also, speaking of creativity, just your creativity, your Page of Cups is going to be increased at this time, Virgo. So really, the world is your canvas. What do you want to create? What are we manifesting? And let's see it. Let's let it shine, Virgo. But let's first get an oracle on this. I love it, Virgo. You got the 6th card of Cancers here, which is the heart and home. Look at that. Maybe some of us are going home, visit our childhood houses, whatever that's looking like, Virgo. I love it. Here's the card of happy home, security, love, kindness, family, belonging, bliss, contentment, comfort, established, fulfilled, legacy, boundaries, affection, peace, heart's desire, and longevity. And I'll tell you what, this, Virgo, this is basically if 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups had a baby, that's heart and home right there. And what does that look like for you, Virgo? Because this is a great energy for you to create that, to be thinking about like how Taurus energy is getting you set up for this long-term energy. You know, Leo's about thinking about all this fun. Gemini, where our minds are just cooking. Venus is very much thinking about this security, this comfort. It's like, come on, Virgo, what more can you ask for? The energies want to know, manifest, because I'll tell you what, the energies have been very, very potent. It's wild, Virgo. So really be intentional with your gifts. And you know what? I just had I did Virgos. I'm doing your video. I did Gemini's video the other day, and they got I was talking about the Ace of Wands, and I called it the Ace of Pentacles by mistake. And I was like, look, I'm manifesting your abundance. And then go to, and if you got Gemini in your placement, skip over this next part. But their surprise card was the Ace of Pentacles. And it was just like, wow. So higher self has got your back, Virgo. Ask yourself these questions. You know, what would make you content? And then when you get that answer, when you go within, start manifesting it. How do we, what ways can we get this started? Do we need some friends to help in this heart and home? You know, like who's in our soul tribe, our soul family? And yeah, let's build it up, Virgo. I love that. Let's get some tarot on this. All right, Virgo, let's see what we got here. I dig it. Look at that. You got, here's your ruler here. You got the Magician in reverse here. And you know what? I feel like he's in reverse because we're just waiting on that question. What would you like, Virgo? What do you want to manifest? What? And then let's get that brain working. Let's make a vision board. You know, let's see what materials we might need. You know, really play around with these energies, Virgo. The energy, I'm not kidding you. It's really ripe right now, and it's only going to increase. And you know, if what a great way to check in with, like, what do we want? Again, see what are some things that are bringing us down, lowering our vibration. We start working on those things, the epiphanies start coming to us a lot faster. You know, higher self, you know, however you connect to the source starts making these connections, and then you start just intuitively knowing how to get towards this happy home here. You know, you're just the stars just kind of line up for you there, and it's just a beautiful little story. So this is the energy right now, Virgo. You are the Magician. You have all the tools you need. You have I mean, come on, let's see it. You know, let's expand more and nurture that. Cancer and energy, like I was talking about, is very nurturing. Whatever this security that you're bringing, this 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles here, definitely nurture that baby. Oh, okay. Alrighty, so we got 9 of Cups here. We got the Hanged Man in reverse. 5 of Swords upright. I love it. And then we got the Star upright. So here's the thing, Virgo. I will say, with this 5 of Swords popping up, because you're getting we're about to get 4 of a kind here. You got a lot of 5s, and the 5s deal with conflict. They deal with areas that, if there's something that is causing dissonance in your journey, or that is, you know, just lowering your vibration. You know, the Hanged Man in reverse, where it can, or up, or in reverse, can be enlightenment, but can also be coming out of meditation too soon. You know, if we're seeing a trend here, you know, that with these 5s that we're still in some kind of conflict here, then we may need to take a moment and just kind of pause and get right. There may be something else we don't have eyes on. You know, that's just one thing with some of us here, but the 5 of Swords can also be when we're thinking about the heart and home, what does our legacy look like? What is our dream, Sometimes we can get caught up in what others are doing and, kind of comparing like, oh, they have this big home, big this cars and all the models and this and that. And it's just like, but that's society's dream. It's like, what is it that you want? This is Venus in Aquarius. It's like, what would be something that would raise your vibration to the roof and something that you'd want to share with others? Because, Aquarius, the star card, they're a sign of networking and humanitarianism. And they very much are about the people and networking. And I feel like that let's talk about the star. It's not, whatever your dream is of abundance, don't feel like that. Let's say if you want a little cottage, you don't want like a 10-story house with 12 garages and things. You just want a warm little cottage, nice little garden, maybe a little hearth in the space, whatever it is. I'm getting cozy just thinking about it, Virgo. But if that's your dream, if that's your wish, then nurture that, because that's where your energy is going to shine. That's how you Nine of Cups. You don't want, it's like, it's like trying to walk in someone else's shoes that's like 2 sizes too small. It's like, why would we do that? Why do you want to walk someone else's dream? Walk your dream, Virgo, and watch how things manifest faster for you. This one. This is, oh, wait, no, this is, dang it, this is Jupiter in Pisces. I was like, this is Mars in Pisces. Here it is. No, we're still working towards that 10 of Cups here. I mean, it's almost there. Almost there, Virgo. But it's just making sure that we are living our dream, living what our higher selves want us to, because the star card as well can be a connection with higher self, listening to those internal messages that are coming through, those downloads. So, really pay attention to that, Virgo. That's trying to lead you to greatness here, to lead you to comfort, to security, to all your wishes and dreams. If your fairy godmother's here, she's got your back. What's good? Alrighty, and this is actually perfect too, considering because this is pretty much what Saturn in Pisces is about, Neptune in Pisces. So I told you who was all in there. Saturn and Neptune's chilling in Pisces. Neptune's been in Pisces for a while. She's the modern ruler of Pisces along with Jupiter. And she hangs out in a sign for about 14-ish years or so. And she'll be in there till 2025. And with Neptune in Pisces, this is kind of like asking, like, Neptune in Pisces is very dreamy energy, very much, it's brilliant, the ideas that we can spark up. But because sometimes those ideas can feel so grand that it can seem like how do I manifest this sun? How do I take this star to create this big, this great ball of energy here? But that's what Neptune and Pisces wants. It wants you to manifest that stuff, to realize that you are full of great dreams, and that to share that stuff, to see what that means, to see how that raises the vibration. And it's just, we just got to be a thing with Neptune and Pisces too, because that can get into the realm of how we were sort of talking about escapism and temperance earlier. They can kind of deal in that sort of realm there. So we do want to be mindful of that. But also, speaking of heart and home, and that, while we're building a soul family, this is a great, talk about compassionate energy to the max for yourself, how we're, managing those broken vase situations, but for others as well, because 2025 is going to be an interesting year. I feel like it can be one of beauty, if we're, taking these next couple years to really kind of focus on, building a soul tribe, working with people who have that, who are working towards that cause of, to bring balance and to bring, to just really operate at their highest frequency. I feel like that's how we Neptune in Pisces to the max here. And that's, if we build those strong communities, when Neptune moves into Aries, we'll have, I feel like it can be a time of just, of bliss and of just happiness and everyone really just kind of being into, everyone experiencing this kind of heart and home family. But you know, the energies could also get to this place of extremes, you know, where we're talking about possibly fanatics and cultish type things. So we just want to be mindful of the kind of energies that were around, you know, these next, I mean, just kind of always Virgo, but really for these next couple of years here, okay? But then we have Saturn. And Saturn moved into Pisces pretty early, but Saturn's going to be going retrograde on the 17th of June and will be retrograding until the 4th of November. And retrogrades are just, you know, about a time of reflection in general, but when Saturn's retrograding, this is like a cosmic interrogation. Saturn's like coming over there like, hey, what have you been doing, Virgo? Oh, he's a little aggressive because, you know, he rules over time, karma, limitations, restrictions. He's a taskmaster. Can be a bit of a hard ass, but he really wants us to just put in that work to achieve, you know, to get that heart and home, to get that sun. Saturn doesn't ask us more than we can achieve. It's just like the work might be a little tough, but man, when you do it, Saturn's just as abundant as Jupiter. But with him being specifically in Pisces, this is an ideal energy for soul searching and doing that shadow work, you know, finding if there are any areas that we're not feeling secure in. Are we feeling confident? You know, how's our self-esteem? And, you know, really doing that shadow work. And you may notice too that there might be some delays, you know, couple that with that square energy from Gemini, you know, maybe some delays, some setbacks. You know, it's going to be a slow, but it's going to be a steady progress. And the nice thing too, you know, same kind of deal, or different kind of deal. This might be an interesting little pocket for you here too, Virgo, because the Neptune placement, you know, Neptune's kind of further along. Neptune's at, like, the last I checked, Neptune's at about the 27th degree in Pisces. But, you know, with Saturn, I want to say is about the 5th, 6th degree. I want to say it's about at the 6th degree. With him being in Pisces, Pisces is a direct opposite of your sign, Virgo, and so that's going to be forming an opposition. And oppositions are kind of similar to squares. They form a 180-degree angle. Well, not angle, you know, line. But oppositions they're like conflicting energies. It's like trying to merge two opposing forces together. And it may be a little tricky to integrate them. But when you do, I actually have a pretty strong opposition with Neptune. But when you work with those energies, man, it may be a little tough, Virgo, at times. You know, it's just like, you may be just like in a weird place of just like, you know, be patient with yourself. You know, this is going to be one of, like I was saying, slow and steady is going to win the race, but know that your work matters. You know, that as long as it's raising your vibration, know that it's going to pay off in the long run. But let's get an oracle on this and get some more details. I dig it. Okay, you got the first card of Libras here, which is the Sword and Scales. And with this card, this is a card of truth, justice, due process, by the book, appeal, balance, make amends, law, integrity, cut to the chase, fair and square, fair play, equity, even keel, legal matters, and hear me out. And you know, Virgo, just kind of talking about the legal matters and justice thing, if we are, because maybe that might be one of our broken vase situations, if we're in some kind of legal process right now, I will say, you know, really just where legal stuff is never fun, whether it be like divorces or like court cases or anything along those lines. It may not be, it could potentially be a tough cycle, but know that when you get through this, it's going to, you know, make sure, because I know you know that it's going to be okay. It's just like these are going to be kind of legal stuff. It gets kind of weird. I will say with this, let me shift gears with this. I will say make sure that we're checking with our, just checking in with our the experts, you know, like as far as like our lawyers and things, you know, following any kind of advice, you know, if we're not certain about some things, doing some clarifications, you know, making sure that we're not just kind of just meh, you know, just sort of like, oh, this thing will just kind of get worked out when it gets worked out, but you know, just make sure that we're staying on top of things and just kind of help things move along. But I also kind of feel with this, you know, if just something just doesn't feel like there's it feels like we're in balance. This gives me very kind of justice card, and the justice card is about cause and effect. And if we're noticing the effect has just been sort of like we've kind of stagnated, you know, things just been kind of the same old, or we just been maybe even kind of down here as of late. What's causing that, so that we can change the narrative, so that we can kind of pivot and fix this stuff out. I even think with like this hear me out, it's almost like listen to your higher self. Hear your higher self out here. Let's pause for a second. Let's put ourselves in a hangman situation so that we can find that enlightenment. And you know, it'll make sense in the long run, Virgo. But I do one other thing, you know, just because when we think about Libra can, you know, they deal with relationships. And if we've been thinking about maybe making amends with someone or something, maybe we had like a situation, you know, just be mindful of how we're going about it, because sometimes when we're going for like to make amends, sometimes we're just wanting to go with the idea of just being like, well, I was right, where sometimes I feel like, especially when it comes to make amends, it's just like, hey, this is how this made me feel, you know, like, but I'm trying to, what can we do to move past this, if we can move past this? You know, if we get into a place of blame, it's just going to keep perpetuating the problem and just exacerbating things. So just another thing to think about. But let's get a little bit more on this sword and scales. Ha! I dig it. Well, I will once we start getting it moving. You got the Chariot in reverse here. Ha! And then there's Saturn. And then you got the World here. And you know what? When you ask yourself, I feel like with this, you know, if we've just been feeling out of balance, if like a broken vase situation, you know, just really kind of threw you for a loop there. It's like, what can we do to get back on track? You know, what pieces are missing to get us, you know, get us towards this world here. And then when we remember what the end game is, we can start, you know, it's like I feel like when we, because when the situations that happen that throw us out of balance, I feel where yes, they can, it can suck in the situation, but when we can see it from that higher perspective, analyze how we're feeling in this, in being present during the situation, analyzing how we're feeling, because this is Cancer's card, and Cancerian energy is about experiential wisdom. You know, when we go through to go through something, it's like we got to process, let's reflect on that so that we don't get thrown out of balance again, or that when we do, we can get adjusted a lot faster. And so, because I mean, you got a lot of victory here, Virgo, between the Sun and now the Chariot. I mean, even the Star card is dope, you know, and I mean, even too, the World, you know, you're going to get to this world, Virgo. We just got to just get eyes on what's throwing us out of balance. But I also kind of feel with this Virgo as well, especially Chariot and the World coming out, like this could be, you know, a great time if you're thinking about maybe doing some kind of travel or anything, that, you know, kind of basking in the sunlight there, Virgo. I'm with it. Definitely get out there, you know, because what better way to, sometimes when we find ourselves, if you've been kind of stuck in like if you've just been kind of eating it for a while, you know, maybe it's just been kind of a back-to-back setbacks. You know, maybe it's like, you know, I need to take like a life break. Let's do like a soul search. Let's go backpacking somewhere. Let's go on a cruise. Let's go to the river. You know, whatever that's looking like. But Yeah, I do feel like that's something too. If you've maybe been a little overworked or things along those lines, maybe some travel. And you know what? Even if we're not traveling anywhere, maybe you can do some internal traveling. Doing some soul searching. We were talking about that chariot, that shadow work as well, and that's what Saturn's asking for. So, more. Let's find the truth there. I was gonna say the truth, and nothing but the truth. But I don't know if that really applies in this scenario. We're moving on. Stay on topic there, Virgo. Kidding. But let's talk about this last one, Capricorn. Because Pluto's going to be retrograding into Capricorn on the 11th of June. Right on the same day that your ruler's entering Gemini. So look at how the energies are setting you up for success there, Virgo. But with Pluto entering Capricorn, or retrograding in Capricorn, this energy is asking you, what do you need to feel independent and like free to do what you want based on what you earned? Like Nine of Cups, Nine of Coins, how can we get to this heart and home here? What patterns do we need to change? Eight of Cups, Five of Cups, Five of Coins, what things do we need to adjust? And then what does success look like to you? Heart and home, flag. What do you, balance, sword and scales. So we really are in a reflective time, Virgo, and I feel like especially for the earth signs, like I think I was telling you this last time, Mercury is going to be retrograding in all the earth signs this year. So this really is a time to be thinking about your, like when you think of earth energy, can deal with the material realm. So it's like, how are we feeling on this realm? Are we feeling, stable? And if not, where are we? How can we strengthen that? How can we get ready for this new era that's getting ready to come here? Because it's coming. The stages, we already got a flavor of it, so it's time to really get settled in and really start putting in, doing that internal work now. Really start asking ourselves these big questions so that we can get to the end game there, Virgo. But let's get an oracle on this. I love it. You got the first card of Sagittarius here, which is the bonfire card. And with this card, this is a card of enthusiasm, energy, heated, intense, joy, ignite, passion, ecstasy, exhilaration, spark, community, sharing ideas, get things done, orgasm, fanaticism, fever, and fierce. And Virgo, I mean, that's Mars and Leo all day, but that's really kind of where the energies are at right now. We want to be in a time where, we want to be in that, in kind of like steeping ourselves in enthusiasm, because this is a time to celebrate. Because sure, yes, are there hardships? Are there adjustments? Of course, because that's because we're making space for fun, for joy, for balance, because we are, when Pluto enters Aquarius, like I was saying, Aquarius energy is about the collective. They're all about connecting and, sharing ideas for how we're going to innovate the future. Aquarius energy is very brilliant. And this is a great time for us to bask together as a community, to share ideas, and whether this be for a business, for a hobby, for maybe you want to clean up the community, maybe you want to start like a band with your family, or maybe you want to, whatever that's looking like, Virgo. This is about getting things going, about Sagittarius, temperance, expansion, alchemy. The temperance card as well is a card of creation, a card of alchemy. After Gemini, the lovers, that alchemical marriage, that finding balance between you and your higher self and figuring out what you want to do. Then now we light a bonfire and then we get a cooking. And that's where the energies are at right now, Virgo. Let's get things a cooking. Let's cook up some fun, some joy, some spark. Be a catalyst, Virgo. Let's get some tarot on this. Love it. Absolutely. You got the King of Cups here. And with the King of Cups, this is where we're going to need to be right now, Virgo. We're in a time where we want to stay cool, calm, and collective. You know, the King of Cups is he's really like he's like emotional wisdom at its finest. You know, really kind of having that balance between head and heart. You know, when emotions comes up, he examines them and then lets them wash back, because I actually like this King of Cups a lot more, because normally the King of Cups is thrown on the ocean, but this King of Cups, he's living in the ocean. So it's like you got to, when it comes to, we got to be mindful of, you know, there's a lot of activity that's going on down there. And if we get caught up in every little thing, you know, every little kind of like, oh no, you know, like saying the world is on fire, as opposed to no, everyone's creating bonfires. You know, it's like it really is just a matter of perspective and how we go about working with the energy. So, you know, really, the King of Cups is like a vibe right now. We want to stay just kind of cool as a cucumber, really kind of analyze these broken base situations and not be disinterested in life, you know, and to see that there are, because this is Pisces energy. He rules the first two decans of Pisces and the last of Aquarius. And you talk about someone who's compassionate. I mean, that, just thinking about that combination, that's beautiful. You know, this is someone who has a love for humanity. And this is something too, Virgo, if you want to do something along those lines, you know, that you're trying to raise the soul tribe's vibration through the roof. I mean, do it. But know that you don't have to do it by yourself. You know, this could be, you know, hit up your soul tribe. You know, let's get everybody geeked up, get them passionate. You know, let's be you got you're calm now. You're all cool, calm, and collected now, King of Cups. Now let's get in that King of Pentacles energy. Let's see what else we got. And again, I'm sorry because I'm noticing that my videos are kind of lagging there, Virgo. So sorry if you were getting. I tell you, it's been some weird techie things these last couple of days. So, alrighty, let's see what we got here, Virgo. Ha! What are we talking about? The Lovers. We got the Lovers up right here, and then we have the Eight of Wands. All right, Virgo, let's get back here where you can actually, where everything's flowing a little bit smoother. There we go. So, you know, Virgo, with the Eight of Wands popping up, I really kind of feel with this thing, for some of us, just with where the energies are at right now, really, like, it's not to say that things aren't going to be coming in, but just be patient. You know, there's going to be news that's coming in. It may not be as fast as we want, and we're still kind of in the shadow of the retrograde. So give the energies, I feel like, just a little bit longer to just kind of get kind of caught up there. We got some weirdness with we got another big aspect that's kind of forming there with Jupiter and Pluto. But I feel like after this stuff kind of passes here, Virgo, things are going to start picking up here soon. The energies are really ripe, but this is something where, thinking with this Lovers, for some of us, definitely making sure that we're connecting with higher self and listening to that gut, you know, your instincts, you know, trust that really, you know, I feel like really now more than ever, trust that inner guidance system, because it's trying to lead you to your happiness, your heart and home, your achievement here. Yeah, we had a couple broken bases, but I mean that your victories trump all of that. Because I mean, seriously, come on, I mean, the Sun, Chariot, I mean, you got a lot of dopes. So your Ruler, the Star, the World, a lot of potential here, Virgo. And I will say as well, you know, this is something, if you're even looking for like love, you know, like, you know, the Lovers can be, you got, you know, Knight of Cups and your heart and home. This is a great time if you've been looking to maybe start love, you know, getting yourself out there, or if we've been wanting to just like talk with friends or anything along those lines, connect with, friends, family, maybe even like if we're good with coworkers like that, however that looks. But we really are, the energies are really kind of beautiful, so definitely work with them, Virgo. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave that there. So if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this, Virgo. You know, if someone might be going through this, because it can be kind of tricky, especially when we're going through like little mini tower moments. You know, sometimes it can get to a place where it's just like, why even bother? And I'll tell you why, because there's so much beauty here, and you can manifest it. You know, it's just finding that connection. And then, if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button. You get notified when I release videos each week. And then as far as I've been on this, something to help you through, maybe through this broken vase situations. I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer, and I created a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to drop positive affirmations, encouraging messages. You know, if you find yourself in a place of adversity, you know, share your story. You know, talk about how you rose above, how you found your pocket of sunshine, completed a cycle with the world, and you know, how you're just kind of living it up and living in your highest vibration. And then, you know, as it grows, I've been definitely hitting up all the court cards and the different, you know, trying to figure out different like meditation groups. So come on over to that, Virgo. And all that information's in the description box. And then lastly, if you have because you got the hottest ticket in the house here, not that you need one, but if you have any Cancer in your placement, sun, moon, rising, wherever, I'm on over to my other channel, The Chariot Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. And this is a great question, Virgo. You got the 7 of coins in reverse here. And then while I'm shuffling for your oracle card, the 7 of coins, like I feel like this is asking, you know, what are we investing in right now? Where are we channeling our energies, and what is that giving us? And I know this kind of like more kind of 6 of coins, but the 7 of coins is like it's like investments, and it's just like if we're noticing that what we've been giving our energies to is not yielding the results, then it's time to to shift some things up, you know, to kind of change the game and be adaptable, be flexible, be fluid in this energy right now. And you got the water card in reverse here. And this too, Virgo, I feel like that pay attention to your feelings in this stuff here, because this water card is Cancer's, Pisces, and Scorpio's cards. And you know, water signs deal with emotions. So something to, when we're thinking about, speaking of Scorpio, Knight of Cups, if we feel that something isn't resonating with us, you know, really tune into how you're feeling, especially with Venus being in Cancer right now. If you don't feel abundant, what would raise your vibration through the roof, and then going for that, you know, really doing some research, finding and then going for that thing, Virgo. So, all right, I think I'm going to leave that there. So you stay safe out there. And you just raise your, I mean, really, with all this is abundance, Virgo. I love it. So raise your vibration through the roof. And I will catch you on the next one. Later. Oh, where'd you go, mouse?